I wanted to figure out a way to kind of like manifest the earth and our relationship with it. And so that's how these developed. Time isn't necessarily linear or a straight arrow or a recursive circle, but it has elements that repeat and it has elements that are new. And so there's this like aspect of it that moves forward but is also repeating. You get this kind of like helical spiral effect to it. Yeah, what was fascinating with clay was that molecularly it was rocks degraded to its constituent elements and then hydrated to form this like clay body, which you could then fire in insane temperatures and it would turn back into rock. So it was kind of like this process of like moving forward and backward in time by working with this one material. And so when I was like playing around with making kilns, I decided to make one in the image of time. And so I started making these spiral kilns. And so for me, they're kind of like a point where we get to contemplate time, contemplate place, all through one object, which I think is like usually split or hard to do. What happens is you get like the larger sediment falls to the bottom, the clay kind of is suspended in the middle. I pour that clay off into drying racks that I make from just wood and cotton towels. After the clay is dry enough to be workable, then I just start forming. And so it becomes this process of like, at one point I'll be like in a day digging up clay, mixing with water, processing the clay while using the stuff that's already ready to build on this thing. The kind of like earth intervention that is the rim has multiple purposes. I like the idea that it's reminiscent of a gravitational wave. The usefulness of it comes from being a water retainer for the trees that are planted on the rim. The trees mark the solstices. So this tree marks sunset on winter solstice. That elm tree marks sunrise on summer solstice. This black cherry tree marks the constellation Lyra, where it was when I first started digging on the site. And the reason for that is about 62% of currently known habitable exoplanets are right next to that constellation, and it's just purely a fact that that's where the Kepler Space Telescope is pointed, and that's where we searched. But I like the idea of like, at this moment in time, that's where we know a potential future might be. Yeah, doing these projects helps me also think about like how will this look in 100 years? How will this look in 1,000 years? How will this look in 10,000 years? And what will it still mean then? I hope, everybody who is involved with it, like Richard, who is like the angel that always appeared to fix something, and John and Jackie and Taylor and Tom, Elise, all those people. I hope they have a story with it, and I hope they tell that story to other people, and that narrative becomes, part of this project. I hope that I hope that in the future it has a story that grounds it for people and makes it special for people. I think that's what I hope to leave.